The snow lingering this evening. We're tracking what to expect.
Live from Chicago, this is Fox 32 News at 9.
And thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Scott Schneider.
I'm Dawn Hasbrook. The city will be deploying salt spreaders overnight to keep the roads safe for the morning. Let's get right to Fox Chicago's chief meteorologist, Emily Walls, for a first check of the forecast. Emily.
Yeah, it's still snowing out there, and some locations have picked up over an inch now. So this has actually been a little bit of an overperformer over the last couple of hours, but we're already in the home stretch. So I think over the next few hours, we're going to begin to dry things out. However, notice the darker shades of blue that you see showing up here. Those are those heavier bursts of snow that we have coming down. So the estimated snowfall amounts that we've seen so far, a lot of us are right around an inch, especially from Chicago back toward DeKalb County and then up toward the Wisconsin state line. So roads are definitely going to be slick, very snowy out there. Any untreated surfaces are going to stay slick and snowy throughout the overnight because temperatures are going to be in the 20s. Now tomorrow, we have yet another system that's going to bring accumulating snowfall. Those details coming up.
Well, New Year's Eve is, of course, one of the busiest nights of the year in Little Village, with families out shopping, restaurants packed.
This year, many streets are much quieter. Residents say fear tied to immigration enforcement is keeping families at home. Leslie Moreno is in Little Village with how community leaders are urging families to celebrate cautiously.
This year has been especially difficult for the Little Village community, for families as well as local businesses, many still feeling hesitant to come out and celebrate the new year. For the Little Village community, this new year comes with a lot of uncertainty and stress. Ongoing immigration enforcements have left many families celebrating indoors this year.
We'll be at home celebrating with family. We're scared to leave. It's better at home with family.
Baltasar Enriquez, the Little Village Community Council president, says many of its members celebrated on Tuesday to avoid drawing attention or risking an encounter with federal agents.
Instead of going downtown and celebrating the New Year's, they're staying home because they're not only afraid of ICE agents, but also the teen takeovers, shootings that have been happening downtown. And it's very concerning for them. And they're just scared at this moment, and this is people that are U.S. citizens.
Enriquez says they'll have 6 teams out on New Year's Eve patrolling the neighborhoods and alerting the community of any federal agents. He's hoping it gives families peace of mind. However, many are still choosing to stay home.
Estrés, mucha tensión. It's just too much stress, a lot of tension. After everything we've seen and lived over the past few months, we think twice before going out to shop, to eat and enjoy.
Despite continued fears and hesitation, local leaders are urging people to enjoy themselves and celebrate the new year, but with caution.
To tell people not be scared, tell people let's continue with our lives and enjoy the new year and begin with a positive attitude for New Year.
As the year ends, community leaders continue urging people to support their local shops and businesses and to continue looking out for one another. In Little Village, Leslie Moreno, Fox Chicago.
Chicago police need your help tonight finding 2 suspects in connection to a shooting outside St. Sabina. Now, we've got to look at them along with the vehicle. As we reported, it happened outside of the Auburn Gresham Church during an adult basketball game this past Sunday. It sent 3 people to the hospital. CPD says it all started with an argument that began in the gymnasium. When everybody went outside, somebody pulled a firearm, shot into the crowd, and hit 3 men. There are safety concerns tonight at Bally's Casino in River North. Last week, there was an armed robbery in the parking garage.
And yesterday, someone got beat up and robbed inside the bathroom at the casino. Fox Chicago's Brett Bagansky shows you his message to everyone about self-awareness.
Had my buddy not been on his phone, we would have both been robbed.
From driving into the parking garage 1 minute,
We had a few $100s on us,
to getting off the elevator the next.
and they had the gun held to us in the elevator.
Gabe Klein tells Fox Chicago about what happened to him and his friend last Tuesday at 1 a.m. in the Bally's Casino parking garage.
You pay for the parking with your player's card, that it should be completely safe.
After parking on the 11th floor, they took the elevator down to the street level. The door opened, and Klein said he saw a man with his face covered pointing a gun at them.
They told us to take off our coats and to look down. At that point, my buddy's like, oh, and then he hit close on the elevator button door.
Now, Gabe and his friend got away safely with all of their belongings, but we confirmed with Chicago police that two 21-year-olds got robbed at this very same parking garage at gunpoint. So we started asking questions with Bally's Casino about that incident, but also their security protocols. And while we're still waiting for answers from the casino, we found out from Chicago police that there was another incident with Bally's, but this time it happened inside the casino. The police report said around 2 a.m. Monday, a man got attacked and robbed by two men in the bathroom who took his belongings and got away.
The patrons are unfortunately easy targets.
Security experts Chuck Sedano and Mike Barbieri have handled security at casinos across the country.
The problem that we see a lot is that these spotters are inside the casino. They're getting on the phone. They see somebody cash out for a large sum of money.
They're urging everyone to limit their distractions, always be aware of their surroundings, and be prepared to call for help if they're in danger.
If you have an alarm that you can set off, you can use your car fob, trigger the car alarm. Anything you can do to call attention without immediately risking your life, by all means do.
In River North, Brett Bagansky, Fox Chicago.
One man is dead and another recovering tonight from a shooting in the Humboldt Park neighborhood. This video from the Citizen app. Police say it happened this afternoon, just after 1:15, near the corner of West Huron Street and North Spalding Avenue. Four men exited a car and shot a 38-year-old and 18-year-old. Medics rushed the 38-year-old to the hospital but didn't make it in time. No word on suspects.
There are several new laws set to take effect on New Year's Day. One's designed to improve public health, starting with how overdose data is collected and shared.
Casey Cronus has more on how it could save lives.
Suspected overdoses will be pinpointed on a map as they happen, paving the way for officials to spot overdose trends faster and hopefully prevent them.
This gives us real-time information so that we can attack the problems where they're at.
Under the EMS Systems Act, first responders can share overdose data with the state. The Illinois Department of Public Health will then provide that information to the Overdose Detection Mapping Application Program, which will identify hotspots across Illinois, helping officials zero in on areas where prevention work is needed most.
This is a collaboration of the federal, state, and local partners to fight the opioid crisis in America.
On the city's west side, some of that work was happening in advance of New Year's Eve. The West Side Heroin Opioid Task Force, in coordination with Representative LaShawn Ford's office, teamed up with a company called Defent to pass out free fentanyl detection systems.
Wait for about 30 seconds, and your results should show.
We're working with different companies to bring in as many tools to prevent fatal overdoses on the West Side. The West Side has been known to suffer from fatal overdoses more than other communities.
The technology encourages users to test products with fast-acting strips and avoid accidental fentanyl poisonings before using. The co-founder of the company says laced pills are one of the leading causes of overdoses.
People's guards are down when they're consuming, in their mind, a pharmaceutical, but oftentimes, if you look at the DEA website, almost 60% of pills seized by the DEA, they're counterfeit pharmaceuticals, and about 60% of them are laced with fentanyl.
Access to Narcan, which can reverse opioid overdoses, has also been expanding across the state. It is now on more CTA platforms and in Chicago public libraries. Reporting downtown, Casey Cronus, Fox Chicago.
To see more of the new laws going into effect for the new year, head to our website, fox32chicago.com.
Chicago's mayor praising the progress made this past year under his watch.
But he admits the work is not yet done.
We are showing up to protect the people of the city, and I'm going to continue to protect working people across the city.
His plans for the new year.
It's closed.
Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson looking forward to the new year.
The mayor joined Fox Chicago's political reporter today on the Chicago Report, touching on a number of topics. One of the big issues discussed, violence in the city. The city of Chicago releasing these stats showing the drop in homicides in recent years. The mayor says the key to the progress is the close partnership with the Chicago Police Department, along with investing the youth. But the work is not yet done.
Here's what I can control. My ability to invest in people and to make sure that there are policies at the city level that moves us towards being the safest, most affordable big city in America. Here's something else to note. Remember in the 90s where we took that approach, where we locked people up, we had 2,000 more police officers, and the murder rate was around 900 people. So to suggest that somehow that if we take this punitive approach that we have long taken, where we've literally have had an addiction, quite frankly, on jails and incarceration, there is no empirical evidence that if you put more people in jail, that somehow that's going to drive down the murder rate. In fact, it was just the opposite, right? Particularly in the 90s and the early 2000s, where we had more people incarcerated, you had these so-called stiffer penalties, but you had more people dying on the streets of Chicago and across America. Here's what I've done. I've implemented strategies that actually show how we not only hold people accountable, but we create opportunities as well. That's why the CVI-CPD relationship is so critical. That's why investing in our young people is so critical. That's why investing in mental and behavioral health care is so critical. These are the things that have proven, at least since I've been mayor, that it's moving us in the right direction.
To see the full conversation, you can visit our website, fox32chicago.com. You can also catch it on Chicago Report tonight at 10 p.m. And turning now to the weather as we take a live look outside right now. Beautiful, still red and green lights, but the snow is slowing down, Emily.
It's slowing down a little bit in the city of Chicago, like downtown area, but elsewhere we're still actually seeing some pretty heavy snow rates that are coming down. So let's get right to the radar here. What I want you to focus on are the darker shades of blue that you see popping up here. So just south of the city now, southern Cook County, now moving into eastern Will County. And then for a lot of you in Kankakee County, we actually have some really heavy bursts of snow. And some of that's going to be moving into northwest Indiana as well. So we're not done yet, but we're moving in the right direction. So the back edge of this system is already beginning to move through. So a lot of us, we're going to begin to dry things out here in the next hour or two, especially near and north of the city, but then south of the city, it's just going to take a little bit longer. Regardless, though, this system, it actually overperformed a little. So there's going to be several locations, especially across the west suburbs, the northwest suburbs, that end up with around 1.5 inches, maybe even close to 2 in a couple isolated locations. Your temperatures, right now, we are sitting in the low to mid 20s. We already reached our low temperature for the overnight. That was a few hours ago, right around 20 degrees. Now we're starting to add, and we're going to end up being in the mid 20s by midnight. That's going to continue right on into the early morning tomorrow. Your wind chill temperatures, they are down into the teens, though, so it's feeling chilly out there, and that's going to be the story all night long. Futurecast, here's this storm system moving through, the one we've been dealing with. It's going to very quickly move off toward the east-southeast, and then tomorrow, we have yet another disturbance that's going to come through. So the morning hours, if you have a morning commute to make tomorrow, I think things look just fine as long as the snow that we're picking up this evening is cleared by your morning commute. But I think salt's still going to be very effective with temperatures in the 20s. And then tomorrow, by midday through about mid-afternoon, we're going to have another wave of snow that comes through. So up to around 1 inch of snow going to be possible again tomorrow. And then some lake effect is going to be possible in northeastern Porter County, LaPorte County. Everywhere else, we should be dry for any New Year's Eve celebrations, but it is going to get very cold. We have high pressure building in. Temperatures are going to drop very quickly Wednesday night. In fact, by midnight, tomorrow night, I expect to be in the teens, with wind chill temperatures pretty close to 0. So make sure you're prepared for that for when we officially turn the page over to 2026. It's going to be very cold. Your 7-day forecast tomorrow, 31. And then on Thursday for New Year's Day, we're going to be right around 20 degrees for your high, mid-20s expected on Friday. Saturday and Sunday, we are going to be mostly cloudy temperature-wise. We're going to be in the mid-20s and then near 30 by Sunday and into Monday. Let's get a check of your weather pick of the day. This one coming to us from Chris in Huntley. Gorgeous sunrise there before the clouds rolled in. Nice shot, huh, guys?
Beautiful. All right, thanks. Another successful year for our friends at the Salvation Army of North and Central Illinois. The organization releasing data with regard to just how many families they have helped over this past year. They report an estimated 50% increase in demand for social services. The division serving more than 730,000 people, 675,000 meals, and 173,000 nights of emergency shelter. They also have given away nearly 300,000 toys and gifts. Good for them.
I'm Lou Canellis. Just 4 NFL teams since 1967 have gone from worst to first and won a Super Bowl. We'll ask if anyone thinks the Bears can be that 5th. And Northwestern's bringing in someone head coach David Braun called a game changer. We'll hear about the Cats' latest hire next in sports.
Sponsored by...
All right, Bears given the day off, but Ben Johnson and his staff busy game planning for those Lions on Sunday. Detroit head coach Dan Campbell said he'd like to treat the game like any other, but he added he could change his mind later in the week. What does that mean? He's going to sit guys? Johnson said his Bears are playing the win, but are these Bears a Super Bowl caliber team? And, you know, we ran the Parkins playoff meter during this season. How about the Parkins Super Bowl meter?
Oh, fun. I'll put a number on it. Like, the Bears have a 20% chance to play for the Super Bowl.
You're telling me there's a chance.
I'll put it there. It's obviously the defense is probably going to be their undoing at this point. But, yes, they absolutely can make it.
I like it. 20%, I'll take it. I was just telling him I like it. I want more. Danny Parkins joins us on Mondays on Chicago Sports Tonight Daily. Join me Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays on Fox Local at 6. Also airs on Fox Chicago at 9:30. You can watch our interviews on our YouTube page at Fox 32 Chicago. Lily, I think King Henry is still running around Green Bay right now.
The most given up by to an opposing opponent in Lambeau Field history. Then you have the Ravens following the Bears lead with the cheese graters. I mean, the Packers are kind of being made a mockery of.
Defense, defense, defense. And can we just take a second to sit here and talk about how the Vikings are third in the division right now?
Losing to that offense that Minnesota trotted out there was a tough one. But in this league, you're not going to win if you turn it over 6 times. And they just did not handle the heat.
Now, plenty to talk about around the division on this week's episode of First and North. Catch it right here on your home of the Bears, Fox 32 Chicago, 9:30 tonight. All right, Northwestern's building a new home and made a huge move today, worthy of the new digs, hiring Chip Kelly to run its offense. Kelly was fired by the Raiders last month, won a national championship last season as offensive coordinator at Ohio State. Kelly's first season in Vegas, where he teamed up with Pete Carroll, it was short. Kelly was fired just before Thanksgiving after the Raiders' 2-9 start. He helped the Buckeyes win a national championship last year. The guy's a two-time college head coach, two-time NFL head coach, national championship winner, so why Northwestern?
I'm confident in the fact that Coach Kelly wouldn't have chosen to come to Northwestern if he didn't believe in my leadership. His head coaching experience is something that I can't wait to tap into. As a head coach, your job is to populate and support a staff that, creates a lot of great creative thought, checks ego at the door, and ultimately just makes every decision based on what's in the best interest of our student athletes. And I know Coach Kelly is going to enhance that throughout our program and the relationship that he and I share.
All right, thanks, Lou. Meanwhile, Northwestern's Big Ten rival Illinois taking on Tennessee. It's the Music City Bowl in Nashville, and it's Luke Altmaier's last game. He's a senior. He'll be playing on Sundays eventually. He capped off his career in fantastic fashion. A 2-yard run here puts the Illini up 10 in the third, but the game came down to the leg of Illini kicker David Alano. For the win, the Naperville North High School native delivers 29 yards. It's good just as the clock runs out. The Illini win back-to-back bowl games for the first time in program history. 2025 coming to a close, and many people are already predicting the trends for the new year.
A look at the food forecast for 2026 from the New York Times.
At Postman Law, we built it.
What foods will be on a lot of tastemakers' tables in 2026? The New York Times has released its food forecast for next year. It suggests you might taste a little more vinegar. The paper says chefs and bartenders are using it to boost flavor in sweet and savory dishes, use it as a health tonic, and in non-alcoholic cocktails. And then cabbage is named the vegetable of the year.
No.
Yeah. Cinnamon rolls are going to be more savory. Celery is turning up in desserts.
No.
Really? Yeah. One-dish restaurants are on the rise, and the forecast is based on surveys of chefs, food execs, and market researchers, all to see how Americans are changing the way they eat.
How do you make a cinnamon roll savory, Dawn?
I don't know.
I don't know about this whole 2026 thing now.
Yeah, maybe the same way you put celery in dessert. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
No.
Or vinegar.
And vinegar I just use to clean. I don't... That's what I use to sanitize things.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. It's snowy out there right now. It's going to stay that way for a few more hours, and then we're going to start to see the snow tapering off. But just be mindful that those roads are going to be snowy and slick out there this evening. We have another round that's going to be possible tomorrow, an inch or less. Temperatures near 31. And then it gets very cold for New Year's. We are going to be in the teens at midnight, but feels like 0. Back to you.
Hey, we're done at 9. Remember, you can catch us anytime on your smart TV. It's Fox Local. We're on all the streaming platforms. Always start your day with Good Day Chicago tomorrow morning at 4:30. First and North is straight ahead.
Good night.
Gear up for the holidays in a